a young black genius attorney who turned skepticism into inspiration. When a young black teenager stepped into the courtroom, clutching a stack of legal documents, the judge, an elderly man with a stern reputation, peered over his glasses, his gaze skeptical, as if he'd already formed an opinion before hearing a word. The room was charged with tension as the judge's voice boomed, "State your name and business here." The teenager's response was calm yet assertive. "My name is Eliza Montgomery, and I am here to represent." Before she could finish, laughter erupted from a corner of the room, cutting her off. The judge smirked, his tone mocking. "A kid playing dress-up as a lawyer? This is a court of law, not a Halloween parade." Undeterred, Eliza opened her folder, revealing a law degree from a prestigious university and a license to practice. The room fell silent as she began her argument, her voice steady and compelling. With each legal precedent she cited, the judge's smirk faded, replaced by a look of begrudging respect. Eliza wasn't just a teenager. She was a prodigy, a genius attorney who had graduated top of her class and was now fighting for justice disguised in her youth. As the case progressed, it became clear that Eliza was not only competent but exceptionally skilled. Her client, wrongfully accused, found hope in her words. Eliza's arguments were precise, her demeanor professional, yet there was a personal touch in her every gesture, a reminder that behind the legal jargon, this was a human story. The turning point came when Eliza presented a piece of overlooked evidence that turned the case on its head. The courtroom, once filled with doubt and mockery, now hung on her every word. The judge, who had initially dismissed her, now nodded in acknowledgment of her skills. In the end, justice was served. The client was acquitted, and the courtroom erupted in applause, not just for the verdict, but for the young attorney who had defied expectations. Eliza's closing statement resonated with everyone present. "Do not judge me by my appearance, but by the merit of my arguments. Everyone deserves a fair trial," and today we upheld that principle. As people left the courtroom, the story of the genius attorney disguised as a teenager spread. It wasn't just about a legal victory. It was a testament to determination, intelligence, and the fight against prejudice. Eliza had not only won her case, but had also changed the minds of those who doubted her abilities based on her age and appearance. The moral of Eliza's story was clear. Never underestimate anyone based on superficial judgments. Talent, determination, and a passion for justice can come in the most unexpected packages. And sometimes, it takes just one courageous person to challenge the stereotypes and change the world. Eliza's victory in the courtroom was not just a personal triumph, but a beacon of inspiration for many who had witnessed her courage and tenacity. As news of her unconventional entry into the legal world spread, invitations to speak at universities, legal panels, and public forums began to pour in. People were eager to hear from the young genius attorney who had shattered stereotypes and expectations with her brilliant mind and fierce determination. In the months that followed, Eliza used these platforms to advocate for justice and equality in the legal system. Her speeches were powerful and moving, often leaving the audience in tears or standing ovations. She spoke about her experiences, the challenges she faced, and the prejudices that many young, especially minority, attorneys encounter. "Let my story be a lesson that the path to justice is fraught with obstacles, but none too great to overcome if you hold firm in your beliefs and values," she would say. Her influence extended beyond public appearances. Eliza began working with non-profit organizations to provide legal aid to those who couldn't afford representation. She became a symbol of hope and a catalyst for change, pushing for reforms that would make the legal system more accessible and fair for everyone, regardless of their background or financial status. Meanwhile, the judge who had mocked her in court had undergone a transformation of his own. The impact of Eliza's words and actions had deeply affected him. He found himself re-evaluating his approach to the law and his biases. Moved by her dedication, He reached out to Eliza, requesting to collaborate on a project aimed at educating judges and legal professionals about unconscious bias and the importance of an equitable legal process. Together, they developed workshops and seminars, and their joint efforts were well received. The legal community began to take notice, and slowly, changes were implemented. Eliza and the judge visited various judicial conferences across the country, sharing their story and the lessons they had learned. It was a partnership that no one could have anticipated, least of all the judge who had once doubted Eliza's capabilities because of her age and appearance. Eliza's journey continued to inspire not just young aspiring lawyers, but also seasoned professionals who had become cynical about the possibilities of change within the rigid frameworks of their fields. Eliza reminded them that at the heart of law was service to humanity, and this rekindled a sense of purpose in many. As Eliza's influence grew, so did the impact of her initiatives. The workshops designed to educate on unconscious bias became a mandatory part of training for new judges and legal professionals. Her story had not only sparked a change, it had ignited a movement towards a more empathetic and just legal system. Everywhere she went, Eliza encouraged young people, especially those from marginalized communities, to pursue careers in law, emphasizing that their unique perspectives were essential for true justice. Eliza's next step was to establish a scholarship fund for minority students aspiring to enter the legal field. She knew firsthand the financial hurdles that could deter talented individuals from pursuing such a path. The fund quickly gained support from various law firms and private donors who were moved by Eliza's dedication and achievements. Everyone should have the opportunity to change the world through law, regardless of their economic background, Eliza asserted during one of her many fundraising events. The climax of Eliza's journey came when she was invited to speak at a national justice reform summit. The event was attended by key policymakers, influential activists, and legal scholars from across the country. Eliza took the stage, her presence commanding and poised. She shared her story, her voice firm yet imbued with emotion, recounting the skepticism she faced and how it fueled her commitment to reform. The audience was captivated, hanging on every word, moved by the power of her narrative and the palpable passion she conveyed. Her speech concluded with a standing ovation and a unanimous commitment from summit participants to implement broad-scale reforms based on the principles she advocated. "This is our moment to ensure that the scales of justice are balanced for everyone," Eliza proclaimed, her words echoing throughout the hall. In the years that followed, Eliza continued to be a formidable advocate for justice. She watched as the initiatives she helped spark led to significant legislative changes, including better funding for public defenders and more rigorous training in cultural competence for all legal professionals. Her legacy was not just in the laws that were changed, but in the lives that were transformed by her unwavering belief in justice and equality. As a mentor to many young attorneys, Eliza inspired a new generation to carry forward the torch of reform. Her life's work became a testament to the power of resilience and the impact one individual can have on the fabric of society. Eliza's story, once a tale of an underdog fighting against the odds, became a beacon of hope and a reminder that with courage, compassion, and conviction, change is always within reach. The young girl who once stood in a courtroom, mocked and underestimated, had risen to become a leader, a reformer, and, most importantly, a catalyst for enduring change in the pursuit of justice. Years passed, and Eliza's influence continued to ripple through the corridors of power and the quiet corners of community gatherings. Her relentless pursuit of justice had transformed into a broader mission of societal change, where legal reform was just one aspect. She founded the Voices for Change initiative, a platform that not only advocated for legal reforms but also supported community programs that addressed the root causes of inequality and injustice. Real change, Eliza often said during her talks, begins at the intersection of law, education, and community support. We cannot focus on one without strengthening the others. Her initiative worked closely with schools, providing resources and programs that educated children about their rights, the importance of civic engagement, and the power of empathy. These programs were designed to nurture a generation that was not only aware of their legal rights, but also motivated to uphold the principles of equity and compassion. The culmination of her efforts was witnessed during the annual Voices for Change conference, a gathering that brought together activists, educators, policymakers, and young leaders from across the nation. Here, stories of change and progress were shared, strategies were refined, and new alliances were forged. Eliza's keynote speeches at these events were highlights, filled with her compelling narratives that urged continued action and vigilance against complacency. Her story had inspired countless others to take up the mantle in their own capacities. Young lawyers and activists referred to her as a mentor, a guide who had shown them that their voices mattered, that they could drive change regardless of the obstacles. The community programs supported by her initiative saw remarkable success in nurturing young minds to think critically about justice and equality. As Eliza's story was shared in documentaries, books, and classrooms, it served as a powerful example of how one person's courage could alter the course of history. Teachers used her life as a case study in resilience and the power of believing in one's principles, showing students that the impact of such beliefs could extend far beyond individual achievements to societal advancements. In her later years, Eliza looked back on her journey with a humble sense of accomplishment. She had seen the seeds she planted grow into robust trees that now provided shade and support to many. Her legacy was not just in the laws changed or the cases won, but in the vibrant community of advocates she had nurtured, who were now leading their own battles for justice. Her final public appearance was at a special session dedicated to the next generation of changemakers. With a gentle smile, she passed on the baton, saying, "The future of justice lies in your hands. Be bold, be brave, and never forget that your actions can echo through eternity." The crowd rose to their feet, a standing ovation that was a testament to the impact of her life's work. A life that had begun with doubt and discrimination but ended with honor and profound respect. Eliza's legacy was cemented not just in the victories she had won or the initiatives she had started, but in the lives she had touched and the societal frameworks she had helped reshape. Her approach to blending legal acumen with compassionate activism had set a new standard for how justice could be pursued and achieved. As she stepped away from the public eye, her influence did not wane. Instead, it blossomed in communities and courtrooms across the nation. Her retirement was marked by a series of tributes from those she had inspired. Law schools established scholarships in her name, non-profit organizations dedicated their annual awards to her legacy, and a documentary detailing her life's work became a source of inspiration for aspiring lawyers and activists. Eliza Montgomery became synonymous with a kind of relentless, compassionate advocacy that many sought to emulate. Yet, her most cherished moments were quieter, more personal interactions with young individuals she mentored. She continued to engage with them through letters, phone calls, and occasional meetups. Each interaction was an opportunity to impart wisdom and encouragement. "Never underestimate the power of compassion in the pursuit of justice," she would often say, her words carrying the weight of experience and the warmth of genuine care. As news of her passing spread, tributes poured in from all corners of the globe. People from various walks of life shared how Eliza's story had impacted them, how her speeches had moved them to action, or how her legal strategies had been studied in their classrooms. The common thread was the profound respect for her dedication to making the legal system more just and accessible for everyone. In the end, Eliza's greatest legacy was the principle that justice should be pursued with both intellect and heart. Her life was a testament to the fact that one individual's commitment to these ideals could indeed change the world. The takeaway from her journey was clear. The fight for justice requires more than just knowledge of the law. It demands a deep commitment to humanity. Her story, now a part of educational curriculums and advocacy training, continued to inspire long after she was gone. It served as a beacon for future generations, a reminder that when courage and compassion are combined, the impact can be profound and lasting. Eliza Montgomery had not just lived a life of advocacy. She had ignited a lasting movement towards a more equitable society, proving that with enough resolve and empathy, change was not just possible but inevitable. Thumbs up like this video if you're inspired by Eliza's story. Speech Balloon, share your thoughts in the comments below, or share this video to spread her incredible message. Bell, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated on more stories like this.